My fiancée Luna said, I would abort any baby that had your DNA in it before I would let myself get stuck with some defective little freak in front of our closest friends at what was supposed to be a celebration dinner. What happened next destroyed everything I thought I knew about the woman I was planning to marry. I am still shaking as I type this. I am numb, completely, utterly numb. Let me back up because I need to get this out somewhere, and I cannot talk to anyone right now without completely losing it. I am Benjamin, 32. And I am a pediatric physical therapist here in Denver. I work with kids who have developmental delays, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, basically children who need extra support to reach their milestones. It is not just my job, it is my calling. These kids are incredible, resilient, funny, brave. They inspire me every single day. I have always been open about wanting a big family, and given my background, I have never been the type to think any child is less than because of disabilities or differences. Luna is 28. Works in pharmaceutical sales, makes twice what I do. We have been together for 2.5 years, engaged for 6 months. The ring cost me 3 months' salary, but seeing her face light up when I proposed, I thought it was worth every penny. Last night was supposed to be special. Our friends Marcus and Ashley just announced they are expecting their first baby. Ashley's about 4 months along. They invited us over to celebrate, along with another couple, Tim and Rachel. Marcus is my college roommate, been my best friend for over a decade. These aren't just any friends, they are family. We are all sitting around their dining room table. Ashley's showing us the ultrasound photos, and everyone's just glowing with excitement. The baby looks perfect in that grainy, mysterious way. Ultrasounds always do. Marcus is practically bursting with pride, pointing out what he swears is the baby's nose or hand or whatever. I am genuinely happy for them, you know? I picked up one of the ultrasound pictures and said, "This is amazing, guys. I cannot wait to meet this little one." And honestly, I looked over at Luna with this huge smile. It makes me even more excited about when we start our own family. Ashley grinned and nudged Marcus. "See, I told you Benjamin would get baby fever looking at these." Tim raised his beer. "So when are you two going to make it official? Give this baby some playmates?" Everyone was looking at us with these expectant smiles, like they were waiting for us to announce we were already trying or something. I felt my cheeks get warm, but in a good way. I looked at Luna, expecting to see her laughing or maybe playfully rolling her eyes at our friends' teasing, but Luna's face. God, I will never forget the look on her face. Pure disgust. Like someone had just shown her a dead animal. That is when she spoke up, and her voice was ice cold in a way I had never heard before. "Benjamin, you look pathetic, getting all excited over baby pictures. And honestly, I would abort any baby that had your DNA in it before I would let myself get stuck with some defective little freak." The silence was deafening. Ashley actually gasped. Marcus looked like someone had slapped him. Tim was staring at his plate like he wanted to disappear into it. I thought I misheard. I had to have misheard. "What did you just say?" And she doubled down and said, "You heard me perfectly. Look at what you do for work, Benjamin. You spend all day with broken children, damaged goods, and knowing your family's medical history. Your mom's diabetes, your dad's heart problems, your brother's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I am not risking creating some special needs burden that would ruin my life. The thought of being trapped with some kid who would need constant care because of your genetics makes me physically sick." It wasn't just that she didn't want kids with me that would have been devastating enough. It was the cruelty, the calculated viciousness. The way she talked about children like the ones I work with every day as defective and damaged goods. The way she talked about my family like we were some kind of genetic trash. And then it hit me. She had been hiding this from me for 2.5 years. All those conversations about our future family, looking at baby names together, talking about how many kids we wanted. It was all lies. She had been playing along, letting me believe we shared the same dreams, while secretly thinking I was defective breeding stock. Marcus found me in the kitchen about 10 minutes later. "Benjamin, man, I am so sorry. He shook his head. "That was fucked up. Did she leave?" "Yeah, right after you walked out. She grabbed her purse and said something about you being dramatic, and that she would deal with this later. He put his hand on my shoulder. Dude, Ashley is crying. She feels terrible that this happened at our celebration. I looked at my best friend and said, Marcus, I think my relationship is over. Good, he said without hesitation, because any woman who talks about children the way she just did has no business being around your future kids. Or anyone's kids. I drove home in complete silence. Luna's car wasn't in the driveway. I found a note on the kitchen counter. Gone to my sister's, we will talk when you are ready to apologize for embarrassing me in front of our friends. Apologize to her? For embarrassing her? I am sitting here at 3 a.m., staring at that note, and I keep thinking about all the little things I ignored. Getting annoyed when I would have to work late or come in on weekends for a child having a crisis. I thought she was just, I don't know, dealing with the stress of my unpredictable schedule. I never imagined she fundamentally disrespected what I do, that she saw the children I work with as burdens rather than blessings. The engagement ring is sitting on my nightstand. I keep looking at it and wondering how I got here, how I spent 2.5 years building a life with someone who thinks so little of me and everything I care about. But you know what the worst part is? I still love her. But you cannot love someone who sees you as defective, can you? You cannot build a life with someone who would abort your children not because she is not ready, but because she thinks your DNA isn't worthy of existing. I think I am done. I know I should be done, but dear God, this hurts so much. Update 1. So here is what happened. Luna came back 4 days after the dinner incident. She walked in like she owned the place, threw her keys on the counter and said, Okay, I think we have both had enough time to cool off. Let's talk about this rationally. Rationally. I told her I had been doing a lot of thinking and that what she said wasn't something I could just get past. She immediately got defensive and started reframing the whole thing. According to her, she was just being realistic about family planning, and I was being overly sensitive about her honest concerns regarding genetic risks. But here is the thing, she never apologized. Not once. She kept trying to make it sound like I was the problem for being hurt by her honesty. I broke up with her that same day, told her I couldn't marry someone who talked about children the way she had, who disrespected my work, and who couldn't even acknowledge that her words were cruel. She was genuinely shocked. I don't think it ever occurred to her that I might actually leave. She went through the whole cycle: anger, bargaining, tears, more anger. She told me I had never found anyone willing to put up with my baggage, and that I was throwing away the best thing that ever happened to me over one misunderstanding. Then she tried to backtrack, saying she had been stressed about work and didn't mean what she said. That of course she would want children with me someday. But even in her attempts to win me back, she couldn't bring herself to apologize for the cruelty of her words or acknowledge why they were so devastating. That is when I knew I was making the right choice. The moving process was a nightmare. We had been living together for 8 months, and she made everything as difficult as possible. She claimed my grandmother's antique hope chest was hers, hid important documents, showed up with friends to help her pack when she knew I would be home from work. Just petty, vindictive stuff designed to hurt me one last time. But yesterday, I found out the real truth about who Luna is and what she is capable of. I was at work, doing a session with one of my patients, a 7-year-old boy named Connor, who has spina bifida. He uses a wheelchair but has been working so hard on his transfers and mobility. Yesterday was huge because he managed to transfer from his wheelchair to the mat table completely independently for the first time. It was one of those breakthrough moments that reminds me why I love what I do. Connor was so proud of himself, grinning from ear to ear, and I was celebrating with him when my supervisor Sarah knocked on the door. She looked uncomfortable, which was weird because Sarah is usually so composed. "Benjamin, can I talk to you privately for a moment?" I told Connor I would be right back and stepped into the hallway. Sarah closed the door behind us and took a deep breath. "I need to tell you something, and I am not sure how to say this delicately." She started. "I got a call this morning from someone claiming to be your fiancée. She said she was concerned about your mental health and wanted to discuss your inappropriate attachment to your patients." My blood went cold. "What?" she asked. "Detailed questions about your caseload, specifically about children with developmental disabilities. She wanted to know if we had noticed you becoming obsessed with these kids, and suggested that your emotional instability might be putting children at risk. I felt like the floor was dropping out from under me. Sarah, Luna and I broke up 3 weeks ago. She is not my fiancée anymore. I figured as much when she couldn't answer basic questions about your work schedule or your supervisor's name. Benjamin. Sarah looked genuinely concerned. She also called the state licensing board, filed a complaint suggesting you have boundary issues with pediatric patients due to personal psychological problems. I literally saw red. She did what? Don't panic. I have already spoken with the board, explained the situation, and given them a full account of your exemplary work history. Your job isn't in danger. But Benjamin, this is serious. She was trying to destroy your career. I was shaking with rage. Not just anger, pure, white-hot fury. This woman, who had already shown me her true feelings about my work and the children I serve, was now actively trying to sabotage my livelihood. She was trying to weaponize the licensing board against me, potentially putting my ability to help kids at risk. There is more. Sarah continued. She also called Connor's mother. I stopped breathing. What? She told Mrs. Patterson that she was concerned about your inappropriate relationship with Connor and suggested that you might be using your position to form unhealthy attachments with disabled children. I thought I was going to be sick. Connor's mom has been through hell with him, multiple surgeries, endless therapy sessions, fighting with insurance companies. The last thing she needed was someone planting seeds of doubt about the one therapist Connor has really connected with. Mrs. Patterson called me immediately, Sarah said quickly. She was upset, but not at you, she said, and I quote, "That woman clearly doesn't know Benjamin at all. Connor adores him, and Benjamin has been nothing but professional and wonderful." This sounds like someone trying to cause trouble. Relief flooded through me, but it was immediately replaced by more anger. Luna had tried to poison the relationship between me and one of my patients, a vulnerable child who depends on me for support and encouragement. I have documented everything, Sarah said, and I want you to know that the entire staff here has your back. What this woman tried to do, it is vindictive and potentially harmful to the children we serve. If she contacts us again, we are referring her to our legal department. I managed to finish Connor's session, but I was distracted. This sweet little boy was so excited about his breakthrough, and all I could think about was Luna trying to destroy the trust his mother had in me. After work, I sat in my car and called Marcus, told him everything. He was quiet for a long moment, then said, "Benjamin, this isn't just vindictive, this is evil. She tried to destroy your career, your reputation, and your relationship with your patients. Over what? Because you broke up with her?" That is when it hit me. This wasn't just about the breakup. This was about control. Luna couldn't handle that I had chosen my values over her manipulation. She couldn't stand that I had walked away from her. So she decided to try to destroy the thing I care about most, my ability to help children. I am not just done with her now. I am getting a restraining order. Sarah connected me with the clinic's attorney, and we are exploring options for harassment charges. What she did could have destroyed not just my career, but could have damaged the therapeutic relationships I have built with vulnerable children and their families. I keep thinking about Connor's proud smile yesterday when he made that transfer. About all the children I work with who trust me to help them reach their potential. Luna tried to weaponize that trust against me, and that is unforgivable. The woman I thought I loved doesn't exist. The real Luna is someone who would hurt children to get revenge on me, and I almost married her. Update 2. My career has actually flourished since then. Word got out in the pediatric therapy community about what happened, and instead of damaging my reputation, it somehow enhanced it. Other therapists started referring complicated cases to me, saying they trusted someone who clearly cared so deeply about his patients that his ex tried to use it against him. I got promoted to senior therapist 6 months ago and now supervise 2 newer graduates. But the real story is about Emma. About 8 months after my breakup with Luna, I started volunteering at a local camp for kids with disabilities. It is a summer program that provides adaptive recreation swimming, horseback riding, arts and crafts for children who might not otherwise have access to these activities. That is where I met Emma. She is a recreational therapist who runs the camp's equine program. 29 years old, has this incredible way with both the horses and the kids, and the most genuine laugh I have ever heard. The first day I volunteered, I was helping a 10-year-old girl with cerebral palsy get situated on one of the therapy horses. Emma was leading the horse, talking to both the child and the animal in this calm, encouraging voice. At one point, she looked over at me and smiled, and I swear something just clicked. After the session, we got to talking. Turns out Emma had been a special education teacher before transitioning to recreational therapy. She had started the equine program because she believed every child deserved to experience the confidence and joy that comes from connecting with animals. These kids face so many barriers, she told me. But up on horseback, they are not disabled. They are just kids having an adventure. I was smitten immediately. We started talking after every volunteer session. She would tell me about the horses and their personalities. I would share stories about my patients' breakthroughs. We discovered we had the same philosophy about working with children, that every child has unlimited potential, regardless of their challenges. 3 months into volunteering, I asked her out for coffee. She said yes, before I even finished the sentence. Our first date lasted 6 hours. We met at 2 p.m. for afternoon coffee and ended up having dinner together, then walking around downtown until almost midnight. I told her about Luna, about the things she had said about children with disabilities, about how she had tried to sabotage my career. Emma listened to the whole story, then took my hands and said, "Benjamin, I am so sorry someone treated you that way. But I am also grateful, because it brought you here." We took things slowly. After Luna, I was honestly gun-shy about trusting my judgment. But Emma was consistently kind, consistently genuine. When I told her about my work, she asked thoughtful questions and remembered details about my patients. She started volunteering extra hours at the camp just so we could spend more time together. 6 months ago, Emma introduced me to her family. We moved in together 3 months ago. Emma has this cozy little house with a big backyard where she fosters rescue dogs. Coming home to her and whatever furry friends she is helping at the moment feels like the most natural thing in the world. But here is the big news. Last week, Emma and I were at the camp's annual fundraising gala. It is this beautiful event where families share stories about how the program has impacted their children. I was listening to Connor's mom. Yes, the same Connor from my work. He is aged out of my services but still comes to camp talk about how much the program means to their family. Emma was standing next to me, and I was thinking about how perfect this moment felt, how right it felt to be surrounded by people who celebrate children for who they are, not what they lack. How incredible it was to have found someone who not only accepts my work but shares my passion for it. During the silent auction portion of the evening, Emma stepped away to check on something with the catering staff. While she was gone, Marcus, who is now on the camp's board Small World, came up to me with this weird expression on his face. "Dude, you are not going to believe who just walked in," he said. I turned around, and there was Luna. She was dressed up, had a man with her I didn't recognize, and was looking around the room like she was searching for someone. My stomach dropped, but not with the pain I might have expected, more like annoyance. What was she doing here? "Should I get security?" Marcus asked. "No, let's see what she wants. Maybe she is genuinely trying to support the cause." Luna spotted me and started walking over. The man with her looked uncomfortable, like he wasn't sure he wanted to be there. "Benjamin," she said when she reached us, "I was hoping I would see you here." "Luna, what brings you to the camp fundraiser?" "I wanted to talk to you, to apologize. Properly this time, for everything." She gestured around the room, and I wanted to see, to understand what you do, what matters to you. I was suspicious, but she seemed different. Quieter, less confident than the Luna I remembered. "Okay," I said. "I am listening. I have been in therapy," she said. "A lot of therapy, working through some things about myself, about why I said those horrible things to you. And I realized. She took a shaky breath. I realized that everything I said that night came from fear. Fear of being tied down. Fear of responsibility. Fear of anything that might make my life less perfect. She looked around the room at all the families, the children, the volunteers. But seeing this place, seeing what you have built your life around, I understand now that I was wrong. About everything. The man with her stepped forward. I am David, he said. Luna's been telling me about you, about what happened between you two. I encouraged her to come tonight. Luna nodded. David works with adults with intellectual disabilities. He's been helping me understand how ignorant and cruel I was. I didn't know what to say. Part of me was glad she was acknowledging how hurtful she had been, but mostly I just felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, no desire for her approval or understanding. I appreciate you coming to say that, I said finally. I hope therapy is helping you. Are you happy? She asked suddenly. I heard you are with someone new. As if on cue, Emma appeared at my side. She slipped her hand into mine and smiled politely at Luna and David. Emma, this is Luna, my ex-fiancée. Luna, this is Emma, my girlfriend. Emma extended her free hand to Luna. Nice to meet you. I watched Luna take in Emma, her natural beauty, her genuine warmth, the way she fit perfectly at my side in this environment that meant so much to me. I saw something flicker across Luna's face. Not jealousy exactly, but maybe regret. You work here? Luna asked Emma. I run the equine therapy program, Emma said, and you are here supporting the camp tonight. Yes. I am learning about the work you all do. Emma's smile was genuine. That is wonderful. These kids are incredible, aren't they? Would you like me to show you the stables? We have some amazing therapy horses. And just like that, Emma was offering kindness to the woman who had tried to destroy my career. Not because she didn't know what Luna had done, I had told her everything, but because that is who Emma is. Someone who sees the potential for good in everyone. I fell in love with her all over again in that moment. Luna and David took the tour. When they came back, Luna found me again. She is perfect for you, Luna said quietly. I can see how happy you are. I am happy. I made so many mistakes, Benjamin, not just with you, but in how I thought about life, about what matters. I hope someday I can build something as meaningful as what you have. I hope so too, I said. And I meant it. They left shortly after that. I haven't heard from Luna since, and I don't expect to. Later that night, Emma and I were cleaning up after the event. I told her about the whole conversation with Luna. How do you feel about seeing her again? Emma asked. Honestly, nothing. Like running into a stranger. I pulled Emma into my arms, but seeing you with her, offering to show her around even after everything she did, that reminded me why I love you so much. Emma smiled and kissed me softly. People can change. Benjamin. Maybe she really is trying to become better, maybe. But I am not interested in who she might become. I am interested in who you are. 2 days later, I proposed to Emma in the camp's main paddock, surrounded by therapy horses and with the mountains in the background. She said yes before I finished asking the question. We are planning a fall wedding. Nothing fancy, just family and friends, probably at the camp since that is where we fell in love. Connor and several of my other former patients are going to be in the wedding party. Emma's brother is going to be my best man alongside Marcus. The life Luna once called pathetic, working with disabled children, choosing love over status, building something meaningful rather than just profitable, is everything I ever dreamed of, and more. Sometimes the worst betrayal leads you exactly where you need to be. Final update. Yesterday was our wedding day. Emma and I got married at the camp with the mountains as our backdrop and therapy horses grazing nearby. Connor, now 13, was one of my groomsmen and gave a speech about how I taught him that disabilities don't define limits, and how Emma showed him horses only care if you are kind to them. The most surprising moment happened during the reception. A camp volunteer told us someone named Luna was outside with a gift, not wanting to intrude on our day. There were Luna and David by their car, looking nervous. "Benjamin, Emma, congratulations," Luna said. "I hope it is okay that we came by." She handed me a wrapped gift, a certificate showing they had made a substantial donation to fund a full summer scholarship for a child whose family couldn't afford the program. "There is something else," Luna said, pulling out a handwritten letter for Emma. "I wanted Emma to know that watching how you two are together helped me understand what real love looks like. You helped me become someone worthy of David's love." Emma read it quietly, tears forming. Luna had apologized for trying to hurt me through my work, saying our relationship taught her that love means celebrating each other's passions, not resenting them. We talked briefly. Luna told us about volunteering with adults with intellectual disabilities, discovering a passion she never knew she had. As they left, Luna said, "Benjamin, watching you choose your values over my manipulation taught me about integrity. You were braver than I ever was." After they drove away, Emma asked how I felt. "Grateful," I said. Not for what she put me through, but for where it led me. Looking around at everyone, my family, Emma's family, former patients, volunteer families, I realized this was the life Luna once called pathetic. A life centered on helping vulnerable children and finding joy in meaningful work. She was right about one thing. It is ordinary, beautifully, wonderfully ordinary. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Emma and I are honeymooning in the mountains with 3 foster dogs she couldn't leave behind. Next year we are starting our own family kids, who will grow up knowing everyone has value and differences should be celebrated, not feared. 3.5 years ago, Luna destroyed me with one cruel sentence. At the time, it felt like the end of everything. Now I see it was the beginning when I learned to value myself enough to walk away from someone who didn't see my worth. The best revenge isn't getting back at someone who hurt you. It is building a life so beautiful, their opinion becomes irrelevant.